been a remarkable day in Indian politics. To take me through is my colleague Rahul Kanwal, who's been on Aaj Tak and therefore has been following the elections very closely. Rahul's with us, Manisha Priyam still with us, Surjit Bhalla is back, refreshed after having some lassi, I hope. Chetan Bhagat is still with us, making, as I said, his election analysis debut. Ashok Lahiri, cephalogist with us, doing all the number crunching for us. Javed Ansari, our national affairs editor, is here. So Javed is going to tell us, among other things, why the Congress party scored a duck. A party that he's tracked for more than 2 decades. I don't think it's ever done so badly as this, has it, Javed? Is this as bad as it comes for the Congress? Did you ever imagine a day where the Congress would score a duck in Delhi?
Well, they can't do worse than this.
That's right.
No, because
so one thing is clear that they can't.
From now it's uphill for the Congress.
In December 2013,
yes,
when the verdict came out, Rahul Gandhi had said at that time, very famously or infamously, I'll transform the Congress in ways you cannot imagine. Well, he's lived up to that promise. He has transformed the Congress in ways that are unfathomable. You know, this is Congress Mukt Bharat, the first step. Starting from Delhi, you're down to zero, it can't get worse. Arvinder Lovely has resigned. We've seen Ajay Markan volunteer to step down. But Rajdi, the one man who really needs to resign is Rahul Gandhi, and he seems to be going nowhere.
Rahul Gandhi from the Congress and all those from the BJP who you know, these guys who we thought were people with the Midas touch, the Amit Shah. Every day we read reports. He's called these people. He's, you know, giving them a knock on the knuckles. When the ground has shifted from under the feet, you can hold people to ransom. This doesn't work.
Let me ask Rahul, because Rahul interviewed Amit Shah. We can, you know, we'll come to Rahul Gandhi in a moment because we know how the Congress works. The Congress rarely gives accountability to the Congress High Command. Will Amit Shah be held in any way accountable? Is it fair to hold someone accountable who's won so many elections for the party simply because of one defeat? What's the mood at the moment in the BJP?
Spare a thought for Amit Shah. Today happens to be Jay's wedding. Jay is his son. Today is the wedding, and yes, of course, congratulations and best wishes, but it couldn't have been on a more inopportune day. His first political defeat, because since the time he was given the stewardship of the party has won everywhere. He's called a meeting next week. His reception's on the 15th. He's called a meeting after that. He's really upset with the BJP MPs in Delhi. There's going to be mass upheaval in the Delhi party structure. There's several people who will be fired. You're asking questions about whether Amit Shah himself will come under fire. I think there's too much trust between him and Prime Minister Modi for that to happen right away. Couple of more electoral defeats later, possibly. Right now, probably not.
No, but let's be clear. You know, we talk about politicians, Surjit, having this Midas touch. And frankly, at the end of the day, the only person who has the Midas touch is the voter. You know, Janta Janardhan. But politicians tend to almost believe in their infallibility, their invincibility. Has that invincibility been pricked? Forget about everything else. The fact that Modi and Shah together are invincible.
First, on that point of Modi and Shah,
yes,
at least I have consistently maintained, rightly or wrongly, that it is essentially Modi. People voted for Modi. They did not vote for Amit Shah's campaigning.
Right.
Think about the following. Let us say L.K. Advani was a leader of the BJP in the national election and Amit Shah was a campaign manager. What would have happened? Nothing.
No, are you saying the organization of an Amit Shah, the Panna Pramukhs using the RSS Karyakartas, does that not make a difference?
I'm going to answer your question very explicitly. I think Modi won all the elections and Modi has lost this election. Let's not blame it on Amit Shah. Let's not blame it on
Kiran Bedi.
On Kiran Bedi. Absolutely not on Kiran Bedi.
But can I just cite over here the CSDS post-poll data which we now have access to, which says that 2/3 of the respondents in Delhi actually feel that Prime Minister Modi is doing a very good job. The popularity ratings are very high. They're also saying that they're very happy with the BJP government in the centre. So has Modi lost the election or has the state BJP in Delhi lost the election?
I'm coming back to my theory now. Modi for PM, Kejriwal for CM.
Sure. Now, so then is it fair to blame Modi for...
I mean, why are we blaming
when that happens, look, clearly there will be 20,000 explanations as we go forward. Everybody will put forward their own pet explanation. You cannot change that reality of 65. Now, all I'm saying is it has to be consistent. I know that this was the case a year ago when we had the December election, then we had the May election. They said it. Maybe that is right. If that is right, then Delhi is about the most unusual electorate in the entire world. Forget India. What we do know, why didn't it happen in Haryana? Why didn't it happen in Jharkhand?
No, it happened.
Why didn't it happen here?
But let's take Surjit's
I think they're both things.
Let's take Surjit's point, because somewhere, and Chetan, you know, we did a tracker in December, and Ashok, I wanted to also come in. We did a tracker in December, showed the BJP ahead. Do a tracker in January, the margin starts getting less. Do a tracker in late January, early Feb.
Exactly.
The AAP takes the first lead. Something changed in January. Now, what changed in January? Kiran Bedi came in. Narendra Modi started attacking Arvind Kejriwal personally. Maybe the BJP Karyakartas were disillusioned with Kiran Bedi. Something changed in the month of January.
And
the suit. You keep on saying the 10 lakh suit versus the muffler.
And again, they're going to be in.
No, we don't know if it cost 10 lakh rupees.
We don't know whether it knows whether that's how it was seen. That's how it was
perception.
It was perception.
I think the moment, if you have to pick one moment, it is that Modi's rally in Delhi. That didn't work.
The Ramlila Maidan.
And I think the reaction was very tactical, very panicky from BJP. And to cover, it's almost like what AAP did last time when Somnath Bharti went and one mistake after
We've got word from Rahul Gandhi. Can I just tell our viewers what Rahul Gandhi has said? He's put out a statement saying, my congratulations to Arvind Kejriwal, and he says, my congratulations to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party on their victory. The people of Delhi have chosen the Aam Aadmi Party and we respect that. I wish Mr. Kejriwal and his team all the very best. Rahul Gandhi not coming on camera. Yes,
but go ahead.
Yeah, so I think it was that moment. See, what is very worrisome here is Mr. Modi was a person who had a very good pulse of the people. That means he's made a structure now in the party that what is happening on the ground is not reaching the Prime Minister's ears. Or whatever it is, there's a circle, the iron dome of chamchas that surrounds every political hero in this country has happened. So that is why it affects Bihar. That is why there may be different reasons they'll lose there, if they lose. But the fact is, somewhere down the line, the chamcha iron dome that forms around the Gandhis, there is a risk it may form around Mr. Modi. So they must break it with a hammer.
I just want to bring you, I'll bring you in a moment. That moment, is there a moment that we must say where this election turned? Was there a moment? Can we see, because of a tracker, since we've done a tracker, something changed in January? What is it that changed, Ashok?
See, January, I personally believe that BJP lost the election because what it was following was a different strategy than in the other states. To keep the Chief Minister's post open and say that we'll have a united leadership and elect the leader after the election worked in the other states. This was one state where
they fell into Kejriwal's trap. Kejriwal said, challenge them to appoint a chief ministerial candidate. They did one, thinking it was a master stroke. You believe it was a blunder.
And what happened? Immediately the party, rumors have it, that not everyone was happy with this announcement.
I'm going to ask Rahul about that because he knows whether that happened. But yes, Manisha, you wanted to make a point.
To confirm,
do you believe that was the point which turned the election, or was it, just the fact that Mr. Modi, or was it just the local leadership of the BJP? They don't have that local leadership in Delhi.
Just to confirm Chetan's point that the BJP's listening posts were not even listening to their own Karyakartas. Literally by the end, the Karyakartas were saying, that the central party leadership is not listening to us. We're not guided properly.
Absolutely.
So many people have been imposed from outside. So rudderless in a sense. But here you had the leadership of the BJP coming on television, arrogance assumed of a certain kind, chemistry working all the way against them. And every time that Mrs. Kiran Bedi came and addressed the media, we know what the results were like. I mean, literally alienating the people, the Karyakartas away from the party.
No, but you're saying this. I go back again to the CSDS poll which says that in colonies with the highest media exposure, which is where Kiran Bedi would have been most visible, the BJP actually does better than the Aam Aadmi Party. I'm saying we just form that notion which drives the narrative, which is not necessarily backed by
empirical data. That decision to take Kiran Bedi, Rahul, what prompted that decision? What was it?
But the reality, Rajdeep, also is that they simply didn't have any general in their arsenal who could have been rolled out.
They could have done what Ashok. Why did they not do what Ashok?
They would have done worse than 4.
They obviously panicked. They thought that they would do really badly. This ended up boomeranging on them. They ended up backfiring. Absolutely, they didn't have anybody.
There was an element
of
panic.
The word coming in from the ground was that they aren't doing well. If they had someone who they thought would get them to cross the finishing line, they would have given that opportunity. Smriti Irani's name was considered very heavily. The Prime Minister veered in favor of Kiran Bedi instead of Smriti Irani. Harshvardhan's name was also considered. We are told.
But they panicked. They thought that Kejriwal was making this a presidential kind of contest. They needed someone. They couldn't do what they did in Maharashtra and Haryana, keep the contest without a chief minister candidate. But Arvind Kejriwal's mother, I am told, and the wife are speaking to our correspondent. Let's try and listen in. Okay, we're waiting for that. Arvind Kejriwal's mother. But yes, Javed, you wanted to make a point about the manner in which Kiran Bedi came in. Because there's a feeling that that was one of the many turning points. I don't think an election turns on one factor. I think they would have won in any case. Let's be clear. With this kind of majority, the Aam Aadmi Party would have still won Kiran Bedi or no Kiran Bedi. Let's be fair to the lady. It's perhaps now that we are in it's an afterthought. But what was that process? Do you believe they panicked, as Rahul is saying?
This was not a decision taken out of confidence. This is not a decision taken after consulting all the stakeholders, the state leadership. I can tell you, I have it on great authority. Two senior leaders, people who ought to matter, were out of station. They were called by Mr. Amit Shah 10 minutes before the announcement was being made, and they were told, "हमने ये फैसला कर लिया, अभी हमें घोषणा करनी है."
Was it panic? Was it panic, certainly, or did they fall into a trap? Kejriwal said, because Kejriwal on auto rickshaws was putting his face and that of Jagdish Mukhi, his face versus question mark, and they said, "My God, we need to do something."
Rajdeep, let's admit that this was a huge mistake on the part of all those who took this decision, whether it was Narendra Modi or Mr. Amit Shah. This was a decision which, far from being a masterstroke, has turned out to be a disaster. She alone is not responsible for this defeat, but certainly the fact that the central leadership was driving this election at the expense of the local leadership has also contributed to this huge rout.
Arun Jaitley had a big role to play in bringing Kiran Bedi into the party. He's the one who...
What was the thinking? But what was the thinking? What did they see in Kiran Bedi?
No, but the reality also is that in the last elections, Arun Jaitley is the only one, as you know, who told the BJP leadership 2 weeks before the results came out that we're not doing well, or we're not doing as well as we should, and the Aam Aadmi Party is getting a lot of seats. So his voice therefore had a lot of say. And he is the one who, in the first instance, Amit Shah pushed him back. But in the second instance, because they weren't getting the right kind of reports from the ground, also because of the fact that the 10 January rally was a bit of a fiasco, they then veered around to the idea of bringing Kiran Bedi in. But given the fact that she comes in with a certain image, given the fact that the ground level leaders never accepted her, it boomeranged, it never worked from the first day.
Let's be clear. This scale of defeat, Kiran Bedi or no Kiran Bedi, the Aam Aadmi Party would have won. Now we are looking at the magnitude of defeat clearly suggests that even in our early trackers, maybe we didn't sense the scale of the public mood. The fact that at the end of the day, Arvind Kejriwal was being seen as the most credible leader to take over Delhi. But with this margin, what explains this margin? Preeti Menon of the Aam Aadmi Party will join us after the break, and we'll have plenty more, including Arvind's family, which has a day to celebrate. Arvind Kejriwal is the comeback king of Indian politics, at least in 2015. Just when you wrote him off, never write off anyone in Indian politics. Old rule of the political jungle. Comeback man of Indian politics is Arvind Kejriwal. He scored a famous victory, and we are now likening it to previous victories, because with 65 out of 70 seats, that's 9/10. Rahul reminding us that that happened in Sikkim in 1989. It also happened with Nitish Kumar and the BJP. They won over 200 out of 230 seats. So there are a few examples, but not too often do you see a party winning 65 out of 70 seats. Dhananjay Joshi, Cicero, welcome. You've had time to digest. You got the trend right, but not this extent. No. Somewhere, no pollster, not even Chanakya, not even Cicero, no one has picked it right. And those who gave the BJP equal seats as the Aam Aadmi Party must find themselves another job possibly. But go ahead. Why did we not predict the scale of this?
Well, let me put this on record. Even if we had got these vote shares, it would have been impossible for me to come on record and say that they'll get 63 seats, which is 90% seats. That doesn't happen. No pollster will.
Did your raw data get these vote shares?
No, the raw data, one didn't get these vote shares. The other thing is that what we saw in our tracker poll, in all the waves, and then in the exit poll, is that the victory margins for the AAP were much higher than for the BJP. So in that case, what we did was we got even more conservative in converting votes to seats, because we were worried if those seats where the victory margins are
basically
too high,
you were worried that Narendra Modi tumko bulayega aur bolega, what are you up to?
No, but there is a thought
the
there.
Prime Minister of the country stands up and says that these polls
but there's a thought there. No. He called the TV channel's opinion polls Bazaru. Now, what about the people who were giving him his own opinion polls?
That's where the chamchagiri has started.
Okay, then go ahead.
Nobody wants to tell the emperor that, the emperor is wearing no clothes.
Exactly,
And that
I
is
agree
the
with
issue
you.
That is the issue BJP has to deal with. Otherwise, the problem will come in.
No, but let's be clear, Chetan. Narendra Modi is an astute politician. He is someone who's understood how to fight elections.
You can get it wrong.
No. So the fact is, do you believe that once someone becomes the Prime Minister of the country, then that connection that you have with your local karyakartas, with your Panna Pramukh, somewhere it goes, because you've got to meet Obama, you've got to go to Australia, you've got to do other things
well,
also as Prime Minister.
Even Arvind thought quitting was a good idea at that time, and it then backfired because people didn't punish him in the Lok Sabha, and they said that why did you quit? And they called him Bhagora, but he must have calculated that this is going to...
No,
so I think somewhere when you're in power, you...
exactly.
But on the other hand, Rahul, if you remember Amit Shah in UP, for example, during the Lok Sabha, used the Panna Pramukhs, used the RSS Karyakartas, appeared to understand exactly what was happening, which is why many of us thought that in Delhi also he's going to play what he did in UP. Why was that entire game of the RSS Karyakartas, many of whom were brought in from other states, not working in Delhi?
No, I think they managed to do a lot of booth management, get campaign management going, but none of that makes a difference. The people in the city have made up their mind. They had more RSS pracharaks per capita square feet in Delhi than in any other state.
But AAP maybe had more volunteers. And maybe the AAP volunteers knew Delhi better than the RSS Karyakartas.
I am countering this by saying that also the Radha Swami Satsang volunteers, I would see metro stations where in the last week or so the BJP Karyakartas had literally fanned out.
The Dera Sacha Sauda backed the BJP.
Absolutely. You could see them on the ground. So
but it didn't work. The voter had decided.
I would once again say that not arithmetic. Of course, it's outcomes, then it's numbers. But the chemistry, give credit to Arvind Kejriwal for having held fort.
But I think the best analysis is...
Yes.
Okay.
We brought in the example of UP.
Yes.
And what about, and the fact that it was a Karyakartas, it was the organization, it was a, waking up of the RSS volunteers to come out and vote. How does that explain places where Modi won in 2014, where there were no RSS?
So explain it for us. That's your job. Tell us what changed.
As analysts, as experts, so-called experts, first find out what happened. Okay? And we are in the before.
What happened in the tsunami?
So therefore, what happened, and we have a lesson in it, in terms of finding out what happened in the 2014 election, which was an equal tsunami.
Yes.
Which was, nobody expected that. And remember...
Give me the one thing that you think changed between then and now. One thing.
I think I've said this.
Go and say it again.
It's social disharmony that was created.
You believe social disharmony, the attacks on churches and all changed the...
Absolutely.
Many would say, and my belief is that Delhi is a different city. That Delhi is the kind of city which was more attractive. The demographics of Delhi are attractive to an Arvind Kejriwal kind of politician who plays that kind of populist politics, works within Jhuggi Jhopdis, has a volunteer system.